What's going on, dudes and dudettes? For USC hoops on the women's side, they did officially sign both Kennedy Smith and Kaylee Heckel, some of the top five-star players out there in the class of 2024. So now that it's official, I wanted to let you guys know because obviously I think it was Duke as well. I had some questions about some guys that the graphics weren't up, like on the social media accounts for certain players, even though they said they had signed, but this happened for that and a Duke team as well, so I'll get into that in a little bit. But also did find out that both Smith, Heichel, and the other five-star player, Avery Howell, are considered on the awards watch list for the Girls Player of the Year in high school this season. So that's pretty cool. Obviously, you know that it are building up a bunch of talent out there for that women's basketball team, so it's pretty cool to see, and hopefully all these chicks still stay on the team as well in the end going into next season. And when it comes to the Anaheim Ducks, yes, the other day they did get a victory against Arizona, I believe it was 3-2, Nashville. But then they did lose to the Colorado Avalanche 2-8 in the very next game, which did suck. But luckily, I think even during this season, I think even that last win, they had six comebacks for victories. It's pretty crazy. Obviously, they were losing those games the past couple of seasons, and now they are winning them. So it's pretty cool to see. Hopefully they can continue and at least get into the playoffs, but you just never know with this team sometimes just because of how young they are. But we'll just have to wait and see. And then Duke played, I think it was Monday, or it could have been Tuesday. I don't know. Forget now that I don't do these right back to back. But I figured I did two videos Monday and Tuesday, so figured you guys were tired of me, so I waited for more news. But yes, they did get that victory against Michigan State, 74-65. Caleb Foster, the freshman, stepped up with 18 points, as I mentioned him before, as one of those top freshmen that I thought would have a big year, and obviously he stepped up in this game as well. Even had a good amount of points in that Arizona game in that loss too. But I don't know, some of those other star freshmen have to step up, I think, because they're pretty much pounding Kyle Filipowski, the star sophomore. And yeah, Tyrese Proctor is doing okay, but he still needs to be better as well, in my opinion, too. But these are tough matchups. I mean, they get some easy games coming up this next week and a half or so, and then they start getting into some other better teams later. But yeah, it was a nice litmus test to see where they are as of right now. And yeah, it wasn't a pretty game, pretty low-scoring game, especially for college basketball this year, but luckily we're able to get that victory on the road in Chicago on a neutral site. And then, yes, as I mentioned, both Cooper Flagg and Isaiah Evans, they were both officially put graphics up on Duke's social media, so it is official that they did sign their letter of intent and are coming next season to Duke. So luckily this is official and it's gone by, but like I said, it was pretty weird that other guys had automatically had their graphics up and not these two guys who are considered the better guys in the class. So that's why I was a bit hesitant in talking about them officially or not. But yes, as of right now, we can all celebrate. And Brendan Rice, one of the better senior-led wide receivers for USC, he leads the nation. At least he's fourth in the top 5 in receiving touchdowns so far this year in college football. I'm kind of surprised just because I haven't really heard his name, especially when it came to scoring touchdowns as of late. But yeah, it's pretty surprising that he's up there. Hopefully he gets a couple more this weekend against the rival UCLA, and hopefully some more in the bowl game as well if he does end up playing, especially if Caleb plays as well. But we'll have to wait and see on their decisions in a couple of weeks. And then yeah, Matt Barkley recently put up pictures. I know the other day I did write about or mention that he was on the practice squad for the New York Giants, which is pretty cool, only just because a lot of their top quarterbacks were injured, so he did have a high possibility in playing and getting signed to the active roster, which I believe he was officially. That's why he was getting fitted for those jersey and helmets and stuff, so that's pretty cool. Maybe he gets some playing time this weekend. I know they're going with some other young guy, DeVito or something like that, but maybe the next couple weeks, if DeVito doesn't do good, then they might throw Barkley out there, see what he has left, and hopefully he will perform well for that team. So looking forward to that. Obviously one of my ex-favorite USC quarterbacks. Then So one of the top interior offensive linemen in high school football right now, Jason Zandamela, who is committed to USC. I did recently see a picture on one of the social media posts that he was holding up an All-American jersey, so it looks like he was officially invited to that All-American Bowl, which usually happens like in February and stuff for high school players. So that was pretty cool to see, so congrats to him. And then, yeah, speaking of Caleb Williams, he was recently named a semi-finalist for both the Davey O'Brien Award and the Maxwell Award watch list. So I'm pretty sure that goes for like the top offensive player and top quarterback as well. So looking forward to seeing if he does end up doing good, because I think even there's a stat out there that he's responsible for like 60-something plus touchdowns overall in college this year, and that leads at least by one over Bo Nix up there in Oregon, and everybody's considering him as one of the top Heisman finalists too. So you definitely got to consider Caleb in there as well. I'm pretty sure he will be at the Heisman ceremony anyways, because even as an ex-winner, you're supposed to kind of be there, and usually if you're still alive and stuff as one of the winners, you're kind of there present. It's kind of weird when it's like, an ex-player that is still playing. I wonder if he will be there to give the trophy to another person, or I don't know how the voting goes, if he can vote for himself or not, because that's kind of weird too, because once you win the trophy, you get to vote as well. So I wonder how that's going to maybe go, but even if he did vote for himself, he probably doesn't end up winning this year, but we'll just wait and see what happens with that. I wanted to mention this top athlete that is supposedly recently signed with USC, where I think she's the number one track athlete overall in high school right now, which is pretty cool. Her name is Mia Bray Peterson. Hopefully I'm saying that correct, but it just goes to show that I think it was last year they signed the number one high school football player, the women's player, the men's basketball player, all number one. Even like tennis players as well, they were signing number one. So it's pretty obvious that a lot of talent is going to USC, and I'm not mad about that. But yeah, it's pretty cool to see all those people, all those talented people show up on campus pretty soon. And then Chip Kelly, the UCLA quarterback, the head coach, recently, apparently there's some news and rumors that even if somehow UCLA does win that game this weekend, that he's still probably going to get fired at some point, because I know they have another game against Cal next week as well. So yeah, it looks like he's finally going to be out of that position, and you never know who's going to step up. It could be someone from USC, it could be someone as their defensive coordinator as of right now, but I don't know. It could be interesting to see who ends up becoming the head coach at UCLA, because it kind of depends who that person is, if they've gotten victories against USC. I know Kelly has gotten a couple, even Jim Mora Jr., when he was there, got a couple. Rick Neuheisel, I don't really remember. He might have gotten one. I could be wrong, but yeah, Coral Durrell or something like that. But yeah, really hasn't been much success against USC, which has been nice since I've been a fan. But yeah, hoping they don't make a big-time splash hire at some point pretty soon. And the Chargers the other day signed an outside linebacker in Justin Hollins to their roster. See what he can do. Never really heard of him, so yeah, I guess we'll see if he ends up going from the practice squad or to the main roster at some point, because I know they put their other outside linebacker who's already on their team, Chris Rumpf, on the injured reserve, so he will most likely be out for the next 4 weeks. And it just goes to show, once again, another early round pick. I think he was like the third or fourth round pick that the Chargers ended up, missing out on, because he hasn't proven to be one of those top outside linebackers / defensive end type of prototype players. But he is from Duke, so I'm giving him a little bit of leeway and a chance to, see if he can become a good player. But yeah, as of right now, it doesn't really seem like it's. And then Jim Harbaugh, who is the head coach of Michigan right now, is going through a bunch of stuff with the NCAA trying to suspend him games, which I think the Big Ten, his own conference, ended up suspending him games, and even the few first games of the season he was suspended as well. But maybe a lot of people are saying that he's going to most likely end up going to the NFL once again, where he was prior to this. He was with like the San Francisco 49ers, and then right before that he was with Stanford in college. But he's had success in the NFL, especially taking the 49ers to one Super Bowl, and they said if any job that he would leave for the NFL, it would be for the Chargers, which is only interesting because they still haven't technically fired their head coach, Brandon Staley, yet. And yeah, it might be cool and stuff, but it might also take a while for Harbaugh to get going in the NFL again, especially with the Chargers franchise, which is always up and down, it seems like. But yeah, it could be interesting. It could be a big swing, but I don't know. He might go to a place where he played for, like Chicago Bears or something like that. Stay more in the Midwest, kind of like where Michigan is, but just never know. And then when it comes to the Lakers, yeah, they played the other day in another in-play season tournament. They were able to get that victory against the Memphis Grizzlies, 134-107. So yeah, they definitely destroyed them. D'Angelo Russell had 24 points, and they tied a franchise record with 22 three-pointers, which was nice. Obviously, you wish they would have broke that record. It was nice to also hear that that record was held during a game when they played against the Celtics. But yeah, either way, they were both victories. That's always good to see. They did play last night against the Kings, and for some reason, any shot, any layup, any easy attempt that they had, it just never went in for them. They were down pretty low. They finally came back, and then they were down big again, and they made a little bit of a comeback towards the end of that game against the Kings. But for some reason, Sacramento plays them very well and just very fast, and I just hope they don't end up playing them in the playoffs and stuff this season coming up, because it just seems like the Kings are just going to run them out, and just because they're a bit younger, and yeah, the shots were just falling for them last night. It was tough to see, but either way, like I said, hopefully they don't end up seeing each other. But I think in that game, LeBron did pass, I forget who he passed, might have been Jason Kidd, for number 5 all-time in triple doubles in NBA history, which is obviously good. You have to get at least 10 points or stats in 3 different categories. So, and I think even guys who are playing now, Russell Westbrook is ahead of him, and Nikola Jokic, who plays for Denver. So he's probably not going to pass them, but maybe they could all be top 3. That would be pretty cool. At least guys I've seen played live. Then there's a big trade rumor out there that the Lakers are interested in not only Zach LaVine, but players like DeMar DeRozan and Alex Caruso, who are all on the Chicago Bulls. So there might be some type of big trade coming at some point. Maybe not until after December 15th, because that's usually when a lot of guys can get traded. But if Lakers are trying to include some people, like a Rui Hachimura, I believe, you have to wait until some point in January. So luckily the trade deadline isn't until February, so they have some time to make this, big trade work. But who knows if it could work as well, because you're bringing in 3 new guys, and you're giving up probably 3 to 4 of your own players, a lot of picks and stuff, and you're just going to see what ends up happening. But hopefully there's enough cohesiveness to be able to go into the playoffs and perform well. So thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe, comment down below, let me know what y'all think. Have a great day. Bye.